What does the term matching refers to? Before giving the answer for this particular question, let me give you a small idea about this section, which is risk management. In risk management section, you will be learning how to manage the foreign exchange risk and how to manage the interest rate risk. So when it's come to the managing foreign exchange risk, the techniques that we can use, one is invoicing in home currency. You can invoice your customers or your suppliers in your home currency. And another technique is you can go for forwards, you can go for futures, you can go for options, you can go for lead-in lag-in techniques, you can go for matching system, you can go for net-in option. So these are the certain options available to you where you can manage your foreign exchange risk. Likewise, there are certain techniques where you can use to manage your interest rate risk as well. So in interest rate risk management, you can use the forward rate agreements, interest rate guarantees, options again, futures, asset liability management. Likewise, there are certain options available to you to manage the interest rate risk as well. So in this question, what they are asking, what does the term matching refers to? In foreign exchange risk management, the matching is you are trying to manage your inflows and outflows, foreign currency inflows and outflows. If you can manage these inflows and outflows properly, you will be able to manage your foreign exchange risk. So let's see that answer is there in which option. When I'm going through the answers, I can see that answer is there in option B. The mechanism whereby a company balance its foreign currency inflows and outflows. So for this question, your answer should be B. A company whose home currency is dollars expect to receive 500,000 pesos in 6 months' time from a customer in a foreign country. The following interest rates and exchange rates are available to the company. They have given the spot rates, forward rates, borrowing interest rate, deposit interest rate. So they are asking us to find out how much we will receive in dollars in 6 months' time using the money market hedge technique. So I want to give you a small trick to tackle the risk management questions. So if you can use this trick, you can get most of the questions correct. So what's the trick is, always you have to think when you are dealing with the risk management question, you will lose. Sometimes you might use the option technique. If you are using the option technique, that is not applicable for option. Except for option technique, for all other techniques what we have to assume, you will lose. If you think like that, you can get answers for most of the questions. So when you are doing the questions, you will realize how important, how useful this technique is. So let's get into the question. They are asking us to find out the dollar receipt, which we are going to get in another 6 months' time. So what you have to understand is, if you are going to get 500,000 pesos in another 6 months' time, we should have a loan of 500,000 pesos in another 6 months' time. We are using the receipt that we are getting from the customer where we can settle that loan. So in 6 months' time, you should have a peso loan of 500,000. That is step number 1. So in order to have a 500,000 peso loan in another 6 months' time, how much is the loan that I have to obtain today? 1 plus my rate should be how much? So I am going to take a loan now, a foreign loan I am going to take. So foreign country, borrowing rate is how much? 8%. So this 8% is for a year. I need it for 6 months now. So 8% is for a year. 8% divided by 12 into 6. I need the 6 month rate. So how much am I getting? I am getting 4%. So 4% is the 6 month rate, 0.04. So here, how much is the loan that I have to take? Today I have to take a loan of how much? 500,000 divided by 1.04. So 500,000 divided by 1.04, how much I am getting? 480,769. I have to take this amount of loan today, 480,769. 69 pesos loan. So I took this loan. Now I have this pesos loan with me. So what I will do, I will give this pesos today and I will get dollars. That means I am trying to convert this pesos into US dollars using the today's rate. So this is the place where your risk will get eliminated, because you are doing the conversion using the today's rate, where you will get exposed to risk when you try to do the transaction in another 6 months time. So here we are not doing that. We are trying to convert the pesos into US dollars using the today's rate, using the spot rate, because I have pesos with me now. So let's do the conversion using the today's rate. So with me I have 480,769 pesos. So let's do the conversion using the spot rate. So spot rate, they have given 15 pesos per dollar. So again, for certain students, they don't know how to do the conversion. So always what you can do is, what they are telling is pesos per dollar. Write like this, very simple. So somehow what they are telling is, I have 480,769 pesos. So if I divide that 480,769 pesos from some dollar value, I should get an answer of how much? 15. I should get an answer of 15. So let's find out how much is the dollar value that I am going to get today. 480,769 pesos divided by 15. I want to give you another trick where it will be very useful for you. When you are dealing with risk management, especially foreign currencies, always make sure to write the currency. Always make sure to write, because it will save your time. It will make your life easy, because you know you are dealing with which currency. So let me do it. It should be 15, guys. 15. So 480,769 divided by 15. How much dollars you have now? You have now $320,051. $32,051 now you have with you. You converted pesos into dollars using the spot rate, so risk is eliminated. Now you have $32,005 with you now. So what you will do, you will go and deposit this in the dollar account, because this is a cash receipt that you should ideally get in another 6 months time. Now this 32,051 you have with you now. So ideally it shouldn't be the case. You should have this 32,051 in another 6 months time. So what I will do, I will go and deposit this 32,051 in my dollar account. So in dollar account, home country, how much is the deposit that they are giving? 3% for a year. 3% for a year. But this is for 6 months. 3% divided by 12 into 6. So here I am getting 1.5%. So this 32,051 I am going to deposit for 6 months in my dollar account. So it's 1 plus 0.015. So how much is the answer that I am getting? 32,051 into 1.015. So if I deposit it, I will have $32,532. So after 6 months in my deposit account, in my deposit dollar account, I have this 32,532. I can take it. So it's going to be a dollar receipt for me. So what will happen? The amount that you are getting from your customer, for that amount, what will happen? From your customer after 6 months, you will get 500,000 pesos. No? So using that 500,000 pesos, you will settle this bank loan. So you will settle that bank loan. So bank loan will be settled and you are getting your cash receipt after 6 months. How many dollars? $32,532. So that answer is there because they are asking the answer for the nearest $100. Your answer should be A, 32,500. EdTech PLC has to pay a Spanish supplier 100,000 euros in 3 months' time. The company's finance director wishes to avoid the exchange rate exposure and it looking to for option do nothing for 3 months and then buy euros at the spot rate. No, if you do nothing, that is a place where you will get exposed to foreign exchange risk. So that is a wrong statement. You can't just wait, you have to do something. You have to either proceed with forwards or future options, if not lead in and lag in, asset and liability management, any technique you have to use. Second one, pay in full now, buy the euros at the today's spot rate. So pay in full now, that means what you are trying to do, you are trying to lead the payment. So if you try to lead the payment, sometimes there can be a chance where you can get benefited. So this is leading, which is a technique of managing the foreign exchange risk. So it is correct. Buy euros now, put them on a deposit for 3 months and pay the debt with these euros plus accumulated interest. So you can see here, we can take this one as your money market hedge technique, but sometimes what they are telling is this can fall under asset and liability management also, because you are having assets and liabilities, you are taking some liabilities and converting it into assets. So either option can be a correct thing. Somehow this is a technique of managing the foreign exchange risk, so it's a correct one. And next one, arrange forward exchange contract to buy the euros in 3 months time. You know, forward is another method that we can use to manage the foreign exchange risk. So it's a correct statement. So your correct techniques are second one, third one and fourth one. It is there in option C. Consider the following statements concerning currency risk. Lead-in and lag-in is a method of hedging transaction risk. If you take foreign exchange risk, there are 3 types of risks. What are the 3 types? One is transaction risk, other one is translation risk, other one is economic risk. So what is this transaction risk? When you are doing a transaction, if your currency is exposed to a risk, it is transaction risk. What is this translation risk? When you are translating your assets and liabilities to another currency, that is translation risk. Something like converting your balance sheet figures. If you are having a US dollar account, if you are maintaining your accounts in US dollars, if you want to convert that into GBP, sterling pounds, then when you are converting the assets and liabilities which is there in the balance sheet into GBP or sterling pounds, there is a risk involved. And next one is the economic risk. Due to economic factors, there are certain risks that you will face. And lead-in and lag-in is a method of hedging transaction risk. Yes, whatever the invoicing in home currency, forward contracts, and your lead-in and lag-in, everything, it is technique of managing transaction risk, not the translation risk. Matching receipts and the payment is a method of hedging translation risk. No. Invoicing in home currency, lead-in, lag-in, matching, netting, forwards, all these are techniques that we are using to manage the transaction risk, not the translation risk. So that statement is a wrong statement. So first one is true, second one is false. It is there in answer C. A UK company has just dispatched a shipment of goods to Sweden. The sale will be invoiced in Swedish krona and payment is to be made in 3 months time. Neither UK exporter nor Swedish importer uses the forward foreign exchange market to cover exchange risk. If the sterling pound to weaken substantially against the Swedish krona, what would be the foreign exchange gain or loss effect upon UK exporter and the Swedish importer? So in this question, who is exporting? UK is exporting. UK is exporting. Who is importing? Sweden is importing. So what's happening? Your UK sterling pound is weakening. Those days, 1 sterling pound, let's assume, we'll take certain numbers. We'll assume it as 10 kronas. Now it is depreciating. Your value is weakening. UK value is weakening. 1 pound is equal to 8 Swedish krona. Okay. So your value has weakened now. This UK company, they are exporting the product. So in the question they are telling the sale will be invoiced in Swedish krona. So those days, for whatever the products that they are selling, okay, whatever the products that they are selling, they are charging 10 Swedish krona. Okay, so those days if they charge, or let's make it as 80 Swedish kronas, 80. I am selling some products for Sweden. How much is the invoice value? Invoice value is 80 kronas. So if it is 80 kronas, how much is the income for me as the UK company? The income will be how much? Income will be for 80 kronas, for 1 pound is equal to 10 kronas. So if I am getting 80 kronas, my income will be how much? My income will be $8. Okay, my income will be $8. Now what's happening? My currency weakened. Still, I will charge 80 kronas from the customer. I can't charge a higher amount from the customer. I can't charge a low amount, because for customer, he doesn't care whether my currency is appreciating or depreciating in my country. Okay, he don't bother about that. If I sold my product for 80 kronas those days, now also I will sell my product for 80 kronas. So in second scenario, if I sell my product for 80 kronas, okay, what's the income for me? It will be how much? 10 pounds. So for the customer, for the person who is importing, there is no effect, because I am invoicing in his currency. For him, those days also this product, let's assume this product I sold it for 80 kronas. Now also I am selling this product for 80 kronas. Those days if I sell this one unit, I will get 8 pounds income. After my currency weaken, if I sell this product still for 80 kronas, I will get how much income? 10 pound income. So what you have to understand, as the exporter, if your currency weaken, what will happen? He will make a gain. As the importer, what will happen? There is no effect actually, because those days also I invoiced this product in kronas for 80. Now also I am invoicing this product in kronas for 80 kronas. So there is no impact, no effect for the importer. So that answer is there in which option? The UK exporter will gain, Swedish importer no effect. So that answer is there in option A. I have done a comprehensive revision for ACCA Financial Management FM or F9 syllabus for a very reasonable price. You can purchase this revision through the link available in the description. In this revision program, I have covered 120 plus MCQ type questions and 6 constructed questions. For each question, I have given you detailed answers and I have provided some additional learning as well. So I hope this revision program will be useful for you in order to pass your exam. If you like my video, don't forget to like it, share it, and make sure to subscribe my channel.